Good morning, guys. I just realized I didn't push the live button. I've been trading for 20 minutes. I can't believe that. So sorry, guys. I have been not live, and you guys have been sitting here waiting. So I am so sorry. I feel like I should have figured that one out, guys. I'm 1 for 2. I've already taken one trade. The first trade that we took was a phenomenal inversion right down here. Great trade. And then I went for a breaker right here for a bearish breaker, but got out early because it seemed too aggressive. So right now we're waiting to see what price wants to do. We're running into this breaker sitting right here. I do think that we may want to run for these data highs sitting right here. So that's kind of what I'm watching and seeing if price wants to run up to these data highs. So hopefully you're all having a good day this morning. Let's see, where's sound? Thank you for the sound. We should know sound. Testing. Let's work on it. Let's see here. Audio capture. I mean, it says it's on right there. We should be on. I got that in. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else on there that could be the issue. Desktop. We could turn up the desktop. Let's turn up the desktop. Let's can you hear anything now? Can you hear anything now? Can you hear anything now? I'm not sure. Give me a thumbs up, or can you hear me? Let's try that. Can you hear me? No? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I guess you can't hear me. I'm not sure exactly what the issue would be. I have everything working. Refresh. Let's try that. How about now? Let's try that. Testing 1, 2, 3. I think you should hear me now. Let's try that. Last chance here. So sorry, we got to figure that out. I'm not sure why. Okay, all right. Know what I did? I didn't activate. Everything was working on YouTube, but on OBS, I didn't click connect. So sorry about that, guys. I'm 1 for 2 already on the day. We took this beautiful inversion to the upside, and then I tried to go short off of a breaker that was sitting right here. This breaker sitting right here, it had a reaction, and I got out for basically bringing my profits to break even. So right now we're running into this breaker sitting right here, and we have this data high. However, I think we may want to run for this data high since we've been just so aggressive right here. So I'm not really interested in going short quite yet. I would probably take this inversion short off the breaker. So I think what I'll do is if we can be aggressive when we run through this level here, I would take that short to this swing low here. But I just don't think. I think we may want to run for these data highs sit right now. John, I really appreciate. Thank you for letting me know. I've been doing these scheduling my streams, and when you schedule your streams, you have to select a second button to go live, and this is the second time I've done that. So I want to see us blow through this breaker right here and run for these data highs. There is not an entry, to be honest. The only potential opportunity if we're going to run for these data highs, which I'm bearish on the day. So because I'm bearish, I'm not as excited about going long. But I guess a scenario on how I would go long would be if we get a move like this to go higher. That's what I would be interested in, is something like that. But if it just does this right here, it's probably going to run without me. This is a nice entry we had right here. Another breaker. I mean, that's really nice.
Order filled.
Let's see if this breaker wants to hold. Nope. It's not. Let's see. We're still sitting there. Make a higher high. I'm going to get out.
Order filled.
All right, I got out there. I'm thinking this breaker, we've hit it 3 times. I'm going to set my hands off, guys. I'm being a little too happy. We've had a fantastic week, and I just don't want to have a horrible day today. So we're going to wait for these data highs to be hit. That's really what I'm going to wait for, and then we'll look for something at that point. Yep. Looks like we're running for those. And there it is right there. There's the data highs. Let's see what price wants to do now. Nice large BPR. If we go to the 4-hour, it's literally just a wick lower. So we may see some higher prices. I might have to change my bias. We just closed above consequent encroachment. We should see the rest of this. We got another 4-hour fair value gap there. I was short biased, guys, based on all of this consolidation and the 4-hour not wanting to run above the consequent encroachment. That was my idea. Yeah, nice, beautiful, just expansion to that. Hindsight is 2020. Obviously, we took this long right here off this inversion, which was beautiful. I took it for about 10 handles, to be honest. I just got out right here, not sure what kind of price action we were going to see because it was the first move. But we consolidated in here, and then we just expanded higher. 76 handles to that breaker, 113 to that high. I'll get to that one day. That will happen, my friends. One day this will be the types of moves I will take. I'm not there yet. I'm not there in my trading quite yet. Have a little ways to go. Have a little ways to go. Yeah, data highs were pretty nice. I don't know, did that give a 30-second entry, Ryan? Were you looking at the 30-second at 8:35? Or the 8:40? It could have been 840 because you'd had a lot of consolidation. It never did close below that 30-second on 840. It was just a little too high for me, personally. I mean, honestly, I should have held from this fair value gap that I did earlier. Yeah, that 1 minute was nice. That closed above the 1 minute. I did watch that one, but we were coming up into this breaker that I'm like, well, let's see what price wants to do. It did find some resistance there. I decided to try to take a short off that. Obviously, wrong mistake. I'm glad I got out when I did. Not wrong mistake, wrong play. All-time highs. Three 371. We're 100 points away. That is totally possible. Yeah, bearish. My bias is now switched. Honestly, we are bullish to the moon. Sweet. Gotta make back damn losses. This I'm really hesitant on wanting to continue trading because I've had just a great week. I've been green all week, and right now I'm red. So don't want to go tilt. I'll give one more opportunity, and if the opportunity is a loss, I'll be done. I'll be done. What is this high? What do I have? What is that for? Did I just randomly put that on there? It's a swing high. Looks like we just hit it right now. So this is a 15-minute swing high. I think what I would like to see, there is really nothing above this. We got a tiny fair value gap there. I'd like to find some resistance on here. Or some support, to be honest. We're going to leave that on the chart. See if we go higher and find some support here and find an inversion that we can go higher in. But once you have a giant move like this, I mean, you can't just go long. I just can't go long straight into that. I like see where this consolidation is. So that's a nice right at equilibrium. Man, when I start seeing that kind of stuff, honestly, I should just project when we're at this point and I see this consolidation and we have might have an opportunity for a move higher. I should literally just put a fib on there and put the equilibrium right in the middle of that and use this as a potential target. I've seen this happen several times. You could probably let's do some little projections. We got a little bit of time before I do anything else here. This was our manipulation lower right at 9:30. There's four standard deviations at this high, at the close of that. That's exactly to the tick. Let's see. The high, the close is 20,217.75, and this is 218. This was 217.75, and that was 218. The other thing I want to point out to you guys is I've talked about this a few times in stream, but when we look at market maker buy and sell models, because I was bearish on the day, I wasn't looking into this. But look at this market maker buy model and look at where this low comes in at when we pull this. So you will typically see a level of symmetry in the market. So on the sell side, we see the sell side come down, and we want to bring the halfway point of the move at the low or somewhere around there. And then we should see on a buy model or a sell model, the completion of it either at or within a symmetrical timeline. So if it takes this amount of time to get down there, you will see it go back up to this high within this amount of time or a little bit shorter. Because typically the other side of the move, they like to move really fast because everybody thinks we're going short. So they'll aggressively go the other way, and that's what you see right here. And that's what exactly happened to me. They got me on that because I was bearish. I was looking that we were going to go shorter. And I went short here on this down candle, and then I went short here on this down candle, looking for that bearish move. I needed to wait for more confirmation. Hindsight's 2020, and I should have been able to identify that we were potentially running back up to these highs here, and now potentially reaching all-time highs again. So I have to say I'm bullish. You have to switch your analysis once you see something like this. Doesn't mean you go long here because you're going to get destroyed on any type of retracement. Literally, price could retrace all the way down to these highs and still be bullish and still move higher. Well, that right there, guys, is like 75 handles. So you don't want to get caught in that. So we need to wait for some type of retracement before we can look at an opportunity to go long. This would not be a smart chase. And honestly, we're probably going to we have about another 30 minutes before the next macro. So because we literally have no formation, we have no structure here, I need to wait 30 minutes for structure to form. Because we'll probably get some type of structure here, and that will give us a clue on what may happen moving forward. Anybody else take any trades so far? Any chases? Any momentum trades? What were you guys looking at? Did you come out on top? Did you get a loss taken on that? I like this breaker. This breaker was really nice. I called out this breaker for a long. Obviously, when you're on the right side of the move, everything works out. And my two losses were against the current trend. I'm slapping myself in the face because those are honestly noob mistakes. Those are newbie mistakes I shouldn't have made. I think I was excited. With all the this whole week. I've had a fantastic week, and thinking I'm on top of the world here. So these were noob mistakes. I shouldn't have taken these. This one I can see. This one is my only real loss. I should have been. I will accept this one that I took right here. No, it makes no sense. I shouldn't have waited. I shouldn't have done that. Especially when we had such an aggressive move. We have an inversion and a breaker, bullish breaker moving into this level. This would be the final straw. I could see that one. I'll accept that as a loss. This one here, that was a mistake. Now see how we're just methodically moving higher? This price action is really hard to do anything with. So I really want an aggressive move down and then potentially an inversion if I'm going to take that long. Equilibrium's way down here right now that it's just, we're probably not reaching that until it before it reaches its target. I mean, we could, but because of how vertical this price action is, we're going to see some consolidation take place. We just will. Beautiful move. You look at that 15-minute, guys. We got these lows right here. Price taken. Slapped myself in the face. That shouldn't have happened. I should have been able to play that. Now we wait. Now we exercise patience for a premium type setup. Here's a breaker from last Thursday. I'm just going to put that on the chart. I just want it as a reference point on what price is going to do. Honestly, if I go long, that would be a target for an exit or for profit. This will not drop all the way, guys. That's just not how price moves. We will see some type of bounce. We'll see some up and down movement here. Not any clear entries on the 30-second or the 1 minute. You could use this one as an inversion to this high. I just don't like how small it is. We're talking like 2 handles. 3 handles. This is where I said I wanted to see the resistance take place. Remember that? I wanted to see it run into this level here and stop. That's exactly what's happening. Or has happened for at least 2 handles. We call that a speed bump. This 2 minute looks good. 2 minute looks better. What's up, Ryuk? How you doing? No, I am not going short. I'm not going short. I got burned on 2 shorts earlier. I got burned on a short here and a short here. It needs to be obvious. It needs to have obvious displacement lower for me to do that. And what, honestly, that would have to look like is something like this. This leg right here needs to be very obvious to me. And we don't have that. That's the only way I'm going short now. I'm not messing around. I made one mistake in here going short. This one was a legitimate short that could have played out, but it didn't. It just had a different agenda. I think we're actually going to run for the data highs or the all-time highs sitting way up here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, is all-time highs potentially being hit. I'm looking at this 2-minute inversion. I'm going to see if this 2-minute inversion wants to run. I'll use that as a potential entry. We're redelivering off of this. This was a 15-minute swing high that we found resistance on. We got to wait 2 minutes though for this to happen on that. Oh yeah, I played that. It was amazing. I just wish I held it longer. This play right here. It was the 930 fair value gap. We broke it. We took a long on the 32nd right here, and then it hit this breaker, and then we just exploded higher. My mistake is while taking this play, I thought the play was over here, and I tried to go short here. That was just not a good idea, obviously. All right, so we got 1 more minute. I want to see what happens here. We got 1 minute left on this 2-minute. I'll look at this. I want to see if price wants to continue to do it. We got this data. We got this high right here. And then this would be a breaker. This is a breaker over from last Thursday, June 20th. Okay, no entry on the 2 minute. 2 minute didn't give it to us. Here's the 1 minute. We got a 1 minute sitting right there. We would have to still wait for that to close, but I'm really going to watch the 2 minute. Because the 2 minute is the obvious fair value gap. This 2 minute is the obvious fair value gap. And after we've had such an explosive move, it's hard to really think that we're just going to explode again right away. I think we have consolidation. So I personally would like us not to break it. I would like to see a little more consolidation, and then once we hit closer to 1045, then we inverse a fair value gap. Maybe we manipulate lower, run the lows, and then we run a fair value gap to go higher. That to me would be ideal. That is my ideal situation. Taking a long here, I'm not as excited about, because price just doesn't move that way as often. It has in the past, because after you get a giant run like this, for us to just have a quick retracement and a continuation higher and an exploding higher, it doesn't happen as often as you get a big move, consolidation. You get more stuff like this. You get consolidation up and down, and then at one point it goes like this, runs lower, and then explodes higher. That is a more probable outcome in my mind. That is really what I would like to see. Leaving a fair value gap somewhere around here, and then we inverse it here. We run for these highs, stop losses put to break even, and we let that sucker ride. So that's really what I'd like to see. You're talking about the 4 hour. 4 hour looks... yeah, we probably will. There's a good chance we inverse this. Let's say we could inverse the 4 hour fair value gap. But we have a second fair value gap. So, and with 3 hours left, we could easily... Is this our all-time high from June 20th? No, it's not. Our all-time high is sitting at 370. Oh, no, that is it. Okay. So we could easily, Ryuk, what I was trying to articulate is we could easily wick above all-time highs and still close below it. So the 4 hour is really hard. The 4 hour bias, I think, would have been clear here on this inversion here. On this inversion here, we closed above it, and my entry on a 4 hour, and I am not an expert on higher time frames by any means, but if I was just to apply the same logic, this would have been my entry right here on the inversion. I'll show you. It looks really nice, actually. My entry would have been looking for price to come back down into this. And obviously it came into this 4 hour fair value gap right here. So more than likely going long somewhere in here, putting a stop below this fair value gap, below that inversion, and taking advantage of that long. But doing an inversion up here is just way too high on a higher time frame. You should already be in the move if you're looking at a higher time frame for an entry. All right, now see how we didn't inverse this? That's really what I like to see right now. I really don't want it to. I really don't want it to grab it right now. Give me a second here. I know that the chart disappeared here. I'm getting it up. I did a different view. It should pop up here any second. So well, it should at least. Got nothing. All right, we'll go back to that. All right, so we have a nice move lower here. Again, I'm not looking at that as a short quite yet. I'm looking as manipulation. So we just manipulated below this. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 minute here. So see how aggressive it's coming back. What does a 30-second look like? So we have a 30-second that we could play into this, but then we still have this 2 minute. This 2 minute that's holding us down. So it makes this less probable, less interesting. We also have this tiny fair value gap right here. Also, an invalid inversion is a recent break. Let me get back to you on this, Ryuk. Let me see this price action, and then I want to answer that. High, low, higher, high. So we have a tiny breaker on the 30-second here. Let's see if price wants to push through this or not. Too small of a fair value gap here on the 1 minute. Still, what's holding down price is this 2 minute fair value gap. Okay, so this 2 minute fair value gap is still king in my mind. It's also 9:30. You typically get manipulation right around 9:30. So I'm curious on, are we going to come down and come back up and just continue to consolidate? Or are we just going to continue this push higher to hit our target by 11 o'clock? So this would be an entry I'm not taking because we have a higher time frame fair value gap that I think is holding us lower. But that entry would have been right here. It would have been an inversion. Your target would be to hit these equal highs. And a close below this fair value gap right here would invalidate this 30-second. I am not taking this trade because I think this 2 minute fair value gap is holding price down, and I would rather us run and close above that for an entry to go higher. So a valid inversion, Ryuk, I'm going back to your question here. A valid inversion is recent break of fair value gap, then creates new fair value gap to support for ideal entry. No. Let me see. Are you talking about down here? So here is a fair value gap. We break it. We find support on this fair value gap, and then we have a fair value gap here that we break, and you could have taken that. That is an entry strategy. You could do that. What I'm referring to, I'm not sure what you think I was talking about, to be honest. I'm referring to, I'm wanting a new fair value gap to form, which did on the 2-minute. And I'm waiting for that to break, but I want to see consolidation first. Okay, I think I remember now what I was saying. What I'm saying is not that I want this, I'm not looking for multiple fair value gaps. Let me simplify it. I'm not looking for this fair value gap to hold, then a manipulation lower, and then a new fair value gap to form, and then we break through it. I'm looking for consolidation. Take out this 2-minute. Okay? I'm looking for consolidation to take place, which we have had so far. I want consolidation for new orders to be taken, and then I want an inversion to break higher. I want price to break above an inversion, and then I would be interested in taking that long compared to just taking a long. If we were to just go lower like we did here and then break higher, that is less likely to take place. It's just not as probable because price would rather consolidate up and down like it is right now for however long it wants to do it. And then at whatever point in time it decides it wants to break out of this consolidation, what I want to see is price do this, break lower and then break higher. This is the power of 3 that I've talked about, and you can go on my channel and you can find videos on it. This pattern right here is the power of 3, or AMD. A is for accumulation. You see consolidation. It's accumulating orders. It's accumulating positions. Then we have M, which is manipulation, making everybody think we're going the other way, accumulating more orders down here. Then D is the distribution. It goes where it's been planning on going all along, and I would like to see a fair value gap somewhere in here, and when we break that fair value gap, then we can run higher. That is what I'm referring to. So it's more of AMD than anything else. Let's go back to this 30-second. I want to see if this 30-second, it doesn't look like this 30-second ever played out. Did we hit this high? No, we didn't. So we just got destroyed on that 30-second. That 30-second never played out because why? There could be more than one answer, but in my mind, the reason is because it was this 2-minute fair value gap, a higher time frame fair value gap that was holding price down. So if this 2-minute is the main or the initial reason price isn't moving higher, I don't want to take a lower fair value gap that looks aggressive into a higher time frame fair value gap that may bring resistance, and that is what happened here. So this 30-second never played out because this 2-minute is the one bringing and supporting price, or preventing price from running higher. Did this ever get fixed? No, it's still there. Sorry. I wanted to switch screens, but it is not uploading or popping up the screen for whatever reason. So same concept goes here. What do we have here? We have manipulation. Do we want to take an inversion off of this one or this one? The answer 9 times out of 10 is no. However, there is one set of circumstances I would consider taking this. And that is if I start seeing a lot of volatility in the candles. If I start seeing an aggressive candle and I see an aggressive close above this, I will take it. Because the momentum of a big green bullish candle is telling me that it may be time for it to move higher. So I do two things. If I'm going to consider this as an entry, and let's just look at the 2 minute. Here's another 2 minute. So this is the 2 minute fair value gap, single fair value gap sitting here. That's what we want to see. If I see time right here on the bottom right corner is in a macro time, I will consider a bullish green candle close above this fair value gap, even though we haven't broken this fair value gap. It's if then type statements. If I see this, when it's this, then I'll take that. If then statements. So it may not even give us that, but these are scenarios I've just seen over and over that I'm playing out in my mind on what I would consider as an opportunity for me to get in long. I think I'm going to order myself, I think I'm going to make a t-shirt. I think I'm going to make a t-shirt with my DTJ logo. Put that sucker right there. That would look good on screen. Boom. DTJ, baby. Got to be representing. Representing the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. All right, so we got this on the 5 minute. We got a low, high, lower, low. I'm looking at these data highs. I really want to see what happens with price at these data highs. So there's the data high. Does data highs want to support price? Or does it, is it going to blow right through it? We could reach all the way down to this 50%. It's still 50% of this leg from this low to this high. That's still within this 5 minute fair value gap. Still doable, still within reason, an allowable range for retracement. So my idea of consolidation and a continuation higher is now gone. That whole idea is now gone. I'm now looking at this as relatively equal highs that may want to be targeted later. If you guys like the stream, consider giving it a like. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this value, this commentary is helpful in your own trading journey. My goal, my desire, the reason why I'm doing this is I want to help other men and women in the body of Christ that love the Lord to get out of the shackles of employment. I think employment, being employed by somebody else, is just, it feels defeating. It feels like you're in a rat race. And I wanna be part of the solution to help the body of Christ get out of that. So that's why I'm here. If you guys like it, let me know. Got another 5-minute fair value gap right there. Thanks, John, for the encouragement. I like this reaction. That's the 2-minute. Let's see what the 1-minute looks like here. We got too many fair value gaps. There's fair value gap here, here, and here for the swing high. So you'd have to go to the 2-minute, but the 2-minute doesn't have a fair value. It doesn't have a swing high, so no really opportunity for an entry. Yeah, you got a cool gig going on, John. I think that's freaking sweet that you were able to sell a business. Sell a business is the way to go. And then to take that and learn a skill set that nobody else can take away from you. A skill set that allows you to take money out of the market at, well, not any time, but on any time that the market presents the optimal scenarios. 100%. I think that's fantastic. Dude, I mean, I'll be honest with you, John. If I didn't have the support of my wife, I don't know if I could have done this. I don't know if I could have made this. And I would honestly say I'm still in a transition. And I don't know if I'll ever get out of that transition completely because in real estate, I mean, there's just so many things you can do in real estate that I'm honestly I'll probably always be in real estate. But if I didn't have the support of my wife to do this, that's tough. Having that support from your family, from your loved ones is so important. It's hard to do it without it. It takes somebody that has clear vision, that has the boldness and the vision to ignore the rhetoric from other people and be convinced internally that this is the route I want to go and this is the route I believe I need to go. And then on top of that, believe that it's possible that they can do it. I mean, there's a lot of external factors that play into trading more than just learning how to trade. So I feel people's pain when they are struggling with having not family support. Thankfully, I live in a family that is all about entrepreneurship. So my dad thinks this is the coolest thing. I've gotten both my brothers into it as well. So I've had that opportunity to have some influence over my family, but they already had that initial I don't want to be bound by an employer mentality anyway. So that definitely makes things easier. As far as, you know, support from family goes. All right, so we're finding support at these data highs like I wanted to see. There's still nothing clear here. The only thing I'm really keeping an eye on right now is this 5-minute bearish fair value gap right there. I want to see that inversed for us to go back up to the highs. If we do that, this may look interesting right here. To grab these equal highs here, these relatively equal highs right here, and then this swing high right here. That would be a nice, I think, entry. Mr. S&P. All right, Mr. S&P. Worse. I get, yeah, we're not even trading the S&P, but it's better than Mr. Nasdaq. Mr. S&P sounds pretty cool. That should be somebody's. That should be somebody's handle. That should be somebody's YouTube or X handle, Mr. S&P. There's somebody on. Okay, see these equal highs right here. I like that. That's that. If we run these lows right here and we get an inversion right here, we take that. I'll take that to these equal highs right here. There's a guy on X. He's Mr. 930. I think that's a cool name too. Mr. 930. All right, I like this displacement. We're in the macro time. I don't want it to go lower. I mean, if it goes lower, then I'm missing this idea because I did switch my bias, if you remember. I switched my bias to long. We ran those lows. Let's see if we got something a little bit nicer, smaller on the 30-second. This fair value gap on the 30-second messes things up on the 30-second, so we got to be a 1 minute guy. 28 seconds. That's too nice right there. That's too nice. Unfortunately, I don't know how big this is either, though. It's just under 10 handles if we close right above it. So the opportunity is there. Your stop loss is 11 handles from the close. Here's 50%. If we're going to wick lower, I want to see how it reacts on this equilibrium of this leg higher, this leg from this low to this high that we had. I want to see how it reacts to this level right here. But I really do like that level there. All right, there's the tag of equilibrium. Let's see what it wants to do here. We're just filled up this 5 minute just about. This 5 minute fair value gap. Another potential 1 minute sitting right here to these equal highs. We got 10 seconds on this 5 minute. I really want to see what happens here. Do we close below that? 4. All right, we did close below it, barely. That is sign of lower price action to come, potentially. Let's see, but it's also right at the equilibrium and it's at a bullish breaker. I really, if we're going to see something, I want to see a nice aggressive candle. If you're joining for the first time, thanks for joining, guys. This is Day Trading in Jesus. We are watching the market, Nasdaq. We're looking for a long here at the moment, seeing if this wants to inverse or if this wants to inverse right here. See if we have any opportunities. Right now, I am 1 for 3. I took one poor trade. Shouldn't have taken it. The other one was a legitimate breaker to the downside that I saw, and price just didn't want to stop there. It wanted to keep going. So we're looking for our next opportunity, being very careful, waiting for an A+ type setup. And right when I mark this out, this was an A+ setup in my mind with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 relatively equal highs sitting right here. So that's kind of what I've been keeping an eye on. I find it interesting that this is the look at this this is interesting. I find it interesting. This is the 10 o'clock candle. If we drag that all the way over, we come back to break even from that 10 o'clock candle at 10:54. So we basically in 1 hour did that. We just grab these equal lows here. Let's see what price wants to do now. I mean, even on this downside, guys, was there an entry that we could have taken? Is there an entry that we could have taken? We could have obviously taken this 5 minute, but I'm not taking one on a 5 minute chart. I'm going to look at the 5 minute as a close and then go to a smaller time frame and see if there's another opportunity on the 1 minute that supports the 5 minute or even on the 30-second, but I haven't seen anything. So this whole downside move, really, we had zero opportunity in my mind for an entry. Not even a breaker opportunity. We have a mitigation block right here. Another mitigation up here. We inverse this fair value gap here, but we never grab liquidity on the upside, so no opportunity there. No fair value gaps here that we could have gone short on. Yeah, there's really nothing. No opportunities right now. Nice. Did you get a win? Shorted TP hit. Nice job, BF. Way to go. Way to go. I didn't take a short once we once we showed a lot of this aggression. I changed my bias from short to long, to be honest. Let's look at the daily here. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at here. We still got this daily fair value gap that might bounce off this daily fair value gap here. But if you look on a daily time frame, this is a bullish signature in price. Do we hit these highs? No, not necessarily, but I think we could, whether it's this week or next week. Yeah, I haven't had an opportunity to, well, I mean, the opportunity to go long that we did take was right here, right off of the open. We inversed the 930 candle, and when we inversed that on the 32nd, beautiful entry. It came back, it hit the breaker, it tapped the breaker, and then just exploded. Literally exploded. Now at this point, I do see the sign of a market maker sell model. But that's just a lot of boom, boom, ping pong and back and forth. Nice entries, but we just need something that gives us clear indication for an entry. And obviously, I mean, this was the clearest. This undoubtedly, there was zero question in my mind that we needed to go long. The opportunity was beautiful. Now that we have a little bit of time under our belt, we need to see something that gives us a clear indication that price wants to move higher. Yeah, after the news, though, there was a breaker short there, BF. It was right here on the 1 minute, and I would have never. So the entry would have been at 837. So we have this high, low, higher, high. We forget all these wicks, look through the wicks. We break lower. We come back higher. Inside this bearish breaker, it did break a little bit above it. So after we break lower and we wick back up into it, this would have been your potential entry. And I wouldn't have taken it on the wick. I would have saw this consolidation right here and seen that wick, and I would have gone short with a stop loss above the wick. That would have been an opportunity. All right, so price is heavy again. It happens. You missed the analysis. I mean, when you get all this, you can't just... we need to go, if we're seeing all this in the lower time frames, we got to go back to a higher time frame to really figure out what our bias is. Everything we're seeing is bullish price action. We really do need to see this, like I told you, that that three, when this candle was way up here, it looked like we could close above that. I think I remember who was talking about that. Ryuk, I think Ryuk, you were mentioning that we may have an inverse on the 4 hour. we just had so much time that you look at it now, you're like, holy cow, we may start going lower. But unfortunately, we really haven't had any opportunities on the right side of this run. On the right side of this run, we've really had not any opportunities or entries. Not any. Now I'm not. You might be looking at this this right here. I would not take this. I would not be taking that to these highs. Two reasons. Yes, we're finding resistance at these highs from the 15-minute, but on that initial push down, I want to wait. I want to wait, make sure we have a low in before I take this just singular fair value gap, because we could close above it and continue down. We have this fair value gap sitting right above it as well, so I would not look at that as an entry. The 2-minute looks better, but still, same idea is I do not want to catch a falling knife. Let's see us put in a low and then make that turn. A little bit slower transition from low to high, if it's going to do that. But when you see this, it's easy to say, I want to go short. And because we're already in discount, we got to be careful about going short. Especially if we don't know the bias. Especially if the bias has really been changing in our minds. Obviously, they have a specific agenda, and we just don't know what it is. Price came right exactly up to the two swing highs from 618 and 617. Thank you for your info. Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you. That means a lot to me when people are getting value out of this. I'm grateful that people can still get value out of it, even when I make poor decisions. I made a poor decision on taking a breaker short when we're obviously in a bullish trend right now that I just should have waited. And right now, honestly, if I'm trying to pick my bias, I think I'm 50-50, guys. I'm 50-50. It could go up, it could go down. I just need to see price give me some type of indication, and I'm willing to take a 10-handle move against the trend. It just needs to be clear to me. There's nothing clear in this price action as far as where price wants to go. I mean, obviously you look at this and you can say, oh, it wants to go down, duh. But it hasn't given me a model for an entry. Here's some equal lows right here. We got this swing low right here that we're watching. See what price wants to do with that. This is what I'm talking about. So see how if we just wick below it a little bit and we find support here and then we move higher, that looks way nicer. But still, we're not re-delivering from something. I need to grab a swing low. So I would rather it hit this and then turn. So while that does that, guys, I'm going to hit the restroom real quick. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. What are we doing here? Do you guys listen to music while you're watching the charts? I like lo-fi music, something that has a beat, no words, just chill. That's the kind of music that I like. I enjoy it. Kind of just helps with taking it easy, being patient, because it's hard being patient. I mean, I've been on so many streams in the past waiting for people to take a trade, and they'll sit there and not do anything. So thanks, Free Forex Tools. Nice video. Thank you. I appreciate it. You listen to music sometimes. Yeah, I'm off and on, but lately, because I can't, it's harder to listen to it on my computer in the environment because it gets on there and then people complain. So I have it in my ears. Listen to music right now. Ryan, no, it did not give a single entry. The only entry potentially was the 5-minute, but I just didn't like. I didn't want to take an entry on a 5-minute because you can easily get a nice big retracement on the 5-minute. So I didn't take anything. I haven't taken anything to the downside yet. Nice sell-off, but there was really, I mean, if you see an entry, let me know. The only one potentially was 1031, and at that point I was still bullish. I am watching this I think still that's the 2-minute. This is a 2-minute. I'm watching that 2-minute. Seeing if we get some support here. Now we do have a breaker, a low, high, lower, low. This would be a breaker. One standard deviation would be somewhere around there at 160. Look at where the 2 standard deviation is. I like the way that looks. Look at where the 2 is lining up. Right in line with those equal highs. So I am still interested in an upside move. I just don't know how fast it's gonna give it to us. Yeah, I didn't see anything either. It is hard to, it's hard. It exercises your patience to watch it run from 246. I mean, 150 points without you. With no entry. That's trading, man. I'm saying it out loud because I'm telling myself that over and over. So I like this little BPR. We have this breaker that we've come into. Now we have a breaker potentially here that I like as well. So I like that idea. The idea is here. That would be a breaker opportunity to the upside. 2-minute shows the same thing. I mean, you could play it off the 2 or anything like that. But I think I would be interested in an inversion of this immediately. And then targeting this high here initially. That's what I'd be interested in. But honestly, I really want it to hit this low first. And if it comes all the way down here, it may give us a different type of setup. Because at this point, what are we delivering from? Yeah, we got this 1 minute order block, but on a higher time frame, we're not even hitting this bullish order block here. On the 5 minute, we have we rebalanced higher imbalances, but I don't see anything outside of that gives me clear indicate. We got this 15 minute. Okay, 15 minutes, sure. We could say it wants to run to this 15 minute. All right, well, my battery's about dead. No more music. 15-minute OB needs to be respected here. Yeah, we got the 15-minute order block and a fair value gap. I agree. This is the only thing that I see legitimate on the charts that perks my interest, that we may see, that I'm okay with us bouncing here. This is, yeah, so order block here. $15-minute OB with a 15-minute BISI inside this daily time frame. Here's OTE. We're in the OTE range, 0.75. We're sitting right here. If price wants to continue higher, this is where you could see it change directions here. 75% retracement to continue higher. Unless we want to continue lower, that's the only other option, obviously. So several overlapping PD arrays here that I think support price moving higher, that would give me the confidence of taking an entry. Now, I don't know how explosive it's going to be to this high, because, I mean, look at this. It's literally just up and down. And price does not just do these nice big moves all the time. I love the days that they do them. But more often than not, you're going to get fake outs that are going to be thrown in there. And especially since we're sitting at 1120, I'm not convinced that it's going to want to run all the way up there just in one big fell swoop. But, I mean, I can't. This is just too obvious to me. I'm watching that. Those equal highs right there. Those equal highs are my target. That's really what I want to see take place. Way to go, man. Let's see this happen. If you got multiple contracts, take some size off once you hit these highs. I'm liking this expansion here. Yeah, as far as this move here, where could we potentially run to? I would look at equilibrium. Where's equilibrium sitting? Equilibrium sitting right here. So below these equal highs. So low, high, lower, low. We have our breaker sitting right here on the 2-minute. We have a fair value gap that's sitting right below that we could easily retrace into. We got two 1-minute fair value gaps, so I can't take a break above this one right here on the 1-minute. Need to wait for a 2-minute. To be honest, if we did break above this, I want to see it retrace down into here. So if we close above the 2-minute, I'm going to wait for a retracement, even if we close above it. So if we close above it, I'm going to wait for a retracement into the 2-minute fair value gap again, or even this fair value gap sitting right here, which would be my entry for a breaker long. And if it runs without me, I almost guarantee it will come back down here at some point. When did you go? I thought you went long, Raul. You went short? I'm glad you got something out. All right, so there's the close above, right? I'm not in this, but this is an entry. Let's see how the trade plays out. Your target would be sitting right here at 17 handles. Your stop loss is sitting right here. A close below that is your entry. I'm looking for a tag into this breaker, and that is going to be my long entry. Okay, I'm not taking it quite yet. I want to see if we want to go into this fair value gap. I could have taken it there. I'm being a little more conservative. I want to see it push into here a little bit and then retrace. Show me that it wants to go back up. So a nice push lower and then a retracement. We still got 42 seconds on that clock for that 2-minute. We'll see where that closes. If it inverses this, that changes the idea completely, obviously, right? So we're just waiting to see what happens. This is why I didn't take that 2-minute, because I want to see how price is going to react here. Okay, we're inversing that. That is a very bearish.
Order filled.
We're going short. Let's see if it wants to continue lower.
Order
I'm gonna
filled.
get out there, guys. I don't like it. Feel like I'm gambling. I'm out. I'm not taking that. And there it goes without me. I mean, when you have a giant candle like this, guys, it's just, and it inverses a 2-minute. I mean, it's probably going to run. To be honest, I think psychology in my head with my loss, I just don't want to get further and draw down. I think honestly that's what's playing out here in my head. We're probably going to run this low here. It's clear that we invalidated these 2 minutes, and it's only 11:27 as well. Let's see it hit this low. If it does, my trade idea for that short that was changed in a matter of one candle worked out. We'll see what happens here. There it is. It's going to hit. There it is. All right. So missed my opportunity. I got out. I honestly got scared out because of a previous loss. And that is my issue that I have to deal with. But let's look at what this move would have produced. I was basically there. So that would have gave 19 handles. 19 handles with no drawdown. Yeah, I didn't. I got in it quick, but got out because I think me dealing with a previous loss has just gotten in my head a little bit that I just don't want to. The volatility, and I think the main reason is
Connection lost.
Okay, making sure. I think the volatility of us having a bullish idea and then going so quickly into a bearish idea is really where the questioning took place. Now, I absolutely will take that. I'll take that. Especially if we get a nice large candle right here. Are we going to get it? 50-50. But I would take that. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 minute, actually. 1 minute still looks good as well. I would actually do the 1 minute instead of the 2 minute. That's why you kind of need those base hit wins to get back, out of that drawdown. That's why I'm okay with just taking 10 handles and getting out, because for me, it's about the win and about regaining that confidence that I had the right bias or the right idea for that trade. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't expect, Ryan, I was really questioning this type of move here, inverse this, hit the breaker, and then just explode higher again right away. price just doesn't do that. It's going to have more consolidation. And we had some decent consolidation here and we moved lower. But even when you look at a previous day, consolidation like this for a move, consolidation, move, consolidation, move, move. So 1 minute did not close there. Really close to it. So let's see if price wants to not run without us. Looking to take a small scalp long on a close above that. So if we target that, that's 10 handles. That's exactly what I'm looking for, is 10 handles. You're going to have to deal with a 14 handle drawdown, because technically this trade would be valid as long as it doesn't close below this level. So really I'm looking for a momentum push here, and it needs to be quick. That's what I like to see. I want to see an order block put in right in here. If we can get a bullish order block and then now we close above it, I'll go long. That's much nicer than just taking this off of 14 handles. When we almost close above it and then we put in an order block inside of this fair value gap, and then when we break above it, it's a way better risk to reward than just taking the close above this. So even if we were to close above this, if you're like, well, I don't like the risk that it gives me, don't take it. Hope that we get a red candle that doesn't close below this. And when we close above it, that's when you enter, because you now created an order block inside of a fair value gap where more than likely we're not going to retrace below that order block that was put in. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for right now, is a close above with this order block sitting right there targeting these highs. I'll take that. I was questioning if I was going to take this 1 minute with a 14 handle drawdown. We just don't want it to run without us right here. $30 seconds left, so that's a lot of time. 30 second. What does a 30 second look like? Yeah, there's not much there.
Order filled.
Okay, we're in along here. Let's see if this order block wants to hold. If we don't hold it, I'm out and I'm done. My entry was right here. Stop will be moved to break even as soon as we hit these highs. I do want to get 10 handles out of this, so 21.31 is my limit.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I have my stop loss inputted in there now. Close below the order block, I'm going to get out. So close below that order block right there. I'll take my stop loss, take it in the chin, and walk away. All right. I'm gonna have a hard stop loss if we hit 15 handles here. All right. I think I'm gonna get out there, guys.
Order
I'm
filled.
taking in the chin. I'm gonna be done for today. I'm not gonna take another trade after that loss. That should have played out, to be honest. Only reason why it wouldn't is we are now in consolidation for whatever time point that wants to be. But let's just go over the rules on why I took the trade, because in my mind it's a legitimate reason. We hit a 15-minute order block. We have a 15-minute fair value gap that we've balanced. We swept the lows. We were aggressive. We didn't close above this 2-minute or this 1-minute fair value gap. We put in an order block and then we closed above it. I mean, all of that is price action that I would consider we're going to hit this high. And from time to time, it apparently just doesn't want to do it. Now, you can look at this low right here. It did not close below this fair value gap. So this trade is still live. I'm just not willing to take a bigger loss, right? I mean, this drawdown was 23 handles, and I really only want to minimum take 15, right? So that's my max drawdown that I instituted just this week. So even on these trades with a big range like this, I don't want to mess with it. This is probably going to run now, which sucks, but it just, today's not the day. Let's see if this plays out here. It didn't close below this fair value gap. We would have had to deal with a higher drawdown or a larger stop loss. All right, I'm taking emotional push right here to these highs. And it hit the high and I didn't sell. I'm not going to mess around. I'm feeling it, guys. I got to be done. I'm out. If I don't stop now, it's going to turn into something I don't want it to be. So I'm logging out of the accounts. I'm going to close those. All right, we're done. It's probably going to run right now, but it already hit the high. So you should have taken your profits right there or moved your stop to break even. So even if you were still in this from that entry right here, your stop would have been at break even as soon as we hit that high, and you would have been stopped out. I'm out. I'm done. I've closed my accounts. Won't take anything else. Just irritating because it came down. It's still respected this. The play's still valid. And so when it hit the high here, it didn't continue. It wicked back lower, and as soon as it does that, I was out. That's it for me today, my friends. Great week overall. Still green on the week. Really grateful for how well this week went. Sucks that I'm ending it the way I'm ending it, but it is what it is. So I'll be here next week. Every morning but Tuesday for the most part. 8:20 is when I'll be in. Why do I implement a hard stop loss? Because I don't want to deal with large drawdown. This was 14 handles from in this fair value gap, and I got emotional on a trade earlier this week that I ended up just getting stopped out on, and it respected it, but I didn't know how far it was going to wick below it. So I instituted that I want a 15 handle hard stop loss on any inversion no matter what it is. So that means if we have a large fair value gap, I need to get my entry lower. And if it hits it, it just hits it, and I have to be out because I don't want to handle a 15, 20. I don't want to handle a 20-point drawdown and wait for 2 minutes, especially if I'm on a 2 minute. I don't want to hold it that long. And when I'm down 20 handles with a minute and a half left, right? That's just a lot. So let's pretend that didn't hit that high. If we closed right there, I'm going to have to wait a whole other minute, and the wick is way down here. We're way down here. That's huge. I just can't do that. So I implemented a 15 handle hard stop loss. That was my idea. It may. So that's going to be it for today.